Hello, Robs. We're back with The Death of Edgar Allan Poe. The actual title is The Death of Poe by H.P. Willis, or N.P. Willis, who was Nathaniel Parker Willis. The Death of Poe, page 27. Death of Edgar A. Poe. Death of Edgar Allan Poe, Edgar A. Poe, by N.P. Willis. The ancient fable of two antagonistic spirits imprisoned in one body, equally powerful and having the complete mastery by turns of one man, that is to say, inhabited by both a devil and an angel, seems to have been realized if all we hear is true in the character of the extraordinary man whose name we have written above. Our own impression of the nature of Edgar A. Poe differs in some important degree, however, from that which has been generally conveyed in the notices of his death. Let us, before telling what we personally know of him, copy a graphic, highly finished portraiture from the pen of Dr. Rufus W. Griswold, which appeared in a recent number of the Tribune. Edgar Allan Poe is dead. He died in Baltimore on Sunday, October 7th. This announcement will startle many, but few will be grieved by it. The poet was known personally or by reputation in all this country. He had readers in England and in several of the states of continental Europe, but he had few or no friends, and the regrets for his death will be suggested principally by the consideration that in him literary art has lost one of its most brilliant but erratic stars. Why did no one read the sequel to The Giver? Nah. What do you think? This is rubbish. His conversation was at times almost supermortal in its eloquence. His voice was modulated with astonishing skill, and his large and variably expressive eyes looked repose or shot fiery tumult into theirs who listened, while his own face glowed or was changeless in pallor. As his imagination quickened his blood or drew it back frozen to his heart, his imagery was from the worlds which no mortals can see but with the vision of genius. Suddenly, starting, this is no book, it's The Death of Edgar Allan Poe. Lemony Snicket, a top 50 writer. He's definitely a bottom 7, just a bottom. His imagery was from the worlds which no mortals can see but with the vision of genius. Suddenly, starting from a proposition exactly and sharply defined, in terms of utmost simplicity and clearness, he rejected the forms of customary logic, and by a crystalline process of accretion built up his ocular demonstrations in forms of gloomiest and ghastliest grandeur, or in those of the most airy and delicious beauty, so minutely and distinctly, yet so rapidly that the attention which was yielded to him was chained till it stood among his wonderful creations, till he himself dissolved the spell and brought his hearers back to common and base existence by vulgar fancies or exhibitions of the ignoblest passion. He was at all times a dreamer, dwelling in ideal realms, in heaven or hell, peopled with the creatures and the accidents of his brain. He walked the streets in madness or melancholy, with lips moving in indistinct curses, or with eyes upturned in passionate prayer, never for himself, for he felt or professed to feel that he was already damned, but for their happiness, who at the moment were objects of his idolatry, or with his glance introverted to a heart gnawed with anguish, and with a face shrouded in gloom. He would brave the wildest storms, and all night with drenched garments and arms beating the winds and rains would speak as if the spirits that at such times, only could be evoked by him from the Aiden, close by whose portals his disturbed soul sought to forget the ills to which his constitution subjected him, close by the Aiden, where were those he loved, the Aiden which he might never see, but in fitful glimpses, as it gates opened to receive the less fiery and more happy natures whose destiny to sin did not involve the doom of death. This is the death of Poe. What is going on here? What's up, Bobs? He seemed, except when some fitful pursuit subjugated his will and engrossed his faculties, always to bear the memory of some controlling sorrow. The remarkable poem of the Raven was probably much more nearly than has been supposed, even by those who were very intimate with him, a reflection and an echo of his own history. He was that bird's unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. What's up, bruv? You type hello one more time, you son of a bitch. You will be fucking sent to. Alright. You got to go, bruv. You got to go. I tried to be your... Actually, I didn't try to be nice to you. Fucking piece of garbage. Every genuine author, is a greater or less degree, leaves in his works, whatever their design, traces of his personal character, elements of his immortal being, in which the individual survives the person. While we read the pages of The Fall of the House of Usher, or of Mesmeric Revelations, we see in the solemn and stately gloom which invests one, and in the subtle metaphysical analysis of both, indications of the idiosyncrasies of what was most remarkable and peculiar in the author's intellectual nature. But we see here only the better phases of his nature, only the symbols of his Juster? What the hell is Juster? Up his numberless complexities of the social world and the whole system with him, was an impostor. This conviction gave a direction to his shrewd, naturally unamiable character. Still, though he regarded society as composed altogether of villains, the sharpness of his intellect was not of that kind which enabled him to cope with villainy, while it continually caused him by overshots to fail of the success of honesty. I'm going to sneeze. Woo! He was in many respects like Francis Vivian in Bulwer's novel of the Caxtons. I don't know. Don't care, honestly. Passion in him comprehended many of the worst emotions which militate against human happiness. It could have been because I was sneezing and shaking the camera. You could not contradict him, but you raised quick collar. You could not speak of wealth, but his cheek paled with gnawing envy. The astonishing natural advantages of this poor boy, his beauty, his readiness, the daring spirit that breathed around him like a fiery atmosphere, had raised his constitutional self confidence into an arrogance that turned his very claims to admiration into prejudices against him. Irascible, envious, bad enough, but not the worst, for these salient angles were all varnished over with a cold, repellent cynicism. His passions vented themselves in sneers. There seemed to him no moral susceptibility, and what was more remarkable in a proud nature, little or nothing of the true point of honor. He had, to a morbid excess, that desire to rise which is vulgarly called ambition, but no wish for the esteem or the love of his species, only the hard wish to succeed, not shine, not serve, succeed, that he might have the right to despise a world which galled his self conceit. We have suggested the influence of his aims and vicissitudes upon his literature. It was more conspicuous in his later than in his earlier writings. Nearly all that he wrote in the last 2 or 3 years, including much of his best poetry, was in some sense biographical, in draperies of his imagination. Those who had taken the trouble to trace his steps could perceive, but slightly concealed, the figure of himself. Apropos of the disparaging portion of the above well written sketch, let us truthfully say, some 4 or 5 years since, when editing a daily paper in this city, Mr. Poe was employed by us for several months as critic and sub editor. This was our first personal acquaintance with him. He resided with his wife and mother at Fordham, a few miles out of town, but was at his desk in the office from 9 in the morning till the evening paper went to press. With the highest admiration for his genius and a willingness to let it atone for more than ordinary irregularity, we were led by common report to expect a very capricious attention to his duties. Right. And occasionally a scene of violence and difficulty. Time went on, however, and he was invariably punctual and industrious. With his pale, beautiful, and intellectual face, as a reminder of what genius was in him, it was impossible, of course, not to treat him always with deferential courtesy, and to our occasional request that he would not probe too deep in a criticism, or that he would erase a passage colored too highly with his resentments against society and mankind. Night, Probs. He readily and courteously assented, far more yielding than most men. We thought on points so excusably sensitive. With a prospect of taking the lead in another periodical, he at last voluntarily gave up his employment with us, and through all his considerable period we had seen but one presentiment of the man, a quiet, patient, industrious, and most gentlemanly person, commanding the utmost respect and good feeling by his unvarying deportment and ability. Residing as he did in the country, we never met Mr. Poe in hours of leisure, but he frequently called on us afterward at our place of business, and we met him often in the street, invariably the same sad-mannered, winning, and refined gentleman, such as we had always known him. It was by rumor only, up to the day of his death, that we knew of any other development of manner or character. We heard from one who knew him well what should be stated in all mention of his lamentable irregularities, that with a single glass of wine his whole nature was reversed. The demon became uppermost, and Though none of the usual signs of intoxication were visible, his will was palpably insane, possessing his reasoning faculties in excited activity at such times, and seeking his acquaintances with his wonted look and memory. He easily seemed personating only another phase of his natural character, and was accused accordingly of insulting arrogance and bad heartedness. In this reverse character, we repeat, it was never our chance to see him. We know it from hearsay, and we mention it in connection with this sad infirmity of physical constitution, which puts it upon very nearly the ground of a temporary and almost irresponsible insanity. The arrogance, vanity, and depravity of heart of which Mr. Poe is generally accused seem to us referable altogether to this reversed phase of his character. 48 Laws of Power, never heard of it. Under that degree of intoxication which only acted upon him by demonizing his sense of truth and right, he doubtless said and did much that was wholly irreconcilable with his better nature. But when himself, and as we knew him only, his modesty and unaffected humility as to his own deservings were a constant charm to his character. His letters, of which the constant application for autographs has taken from us, we are sorry to confess, the greater portion exhibited this quality very strongly. In one of the carelessly written notes of which we chance still to retain possession, for instance, he speaks of the Raven, that extraordinary poem which electrified the world of imaginative readers and has become the type of a school of poetry of its own, and in evident earnest attributes its success to the few words of commendation with which we had prefaced it in this paper. It will throw light on his sane character to give a literal copy of the note. Fordham, April 20th, 1849. My dear Willis, that the poem which I enclose, and which I am so vain as to hope you will like, in some respects, has been just been published in a paper for which sheer necessity compels me to write now and then. It pays well at times, but unquestionably it ought to pay 10 prices. For whatever I send it, I feel I am consigning to the tomb of the Capulets. The verses accompanying this, may I beg you to take out of the tomb and bring them to light in the home journal. If you can oblige me so far as to copy them, I do not think it will be necessary to say from thee that would be too bad, and perhaps from a late paper would do. I have not forgotten how a good word in season from you made the Raven. It made Ulaloom, I don't know how to say that, Ulaloom, which, by the way, people have done me the honor of attributing to you. Therefore, I would ask you, if I dared, to say something of these lines, if they please you. Truly yours ever, Edgar A. Poe. In double proof of his earnest disposition to do the best for himself, and of the trustful and grateful nature which has been denied him, we give another of the only 3 of his notes which we chance to retain. Fordham, January 22nd, 1848. My dear Mr. Willis, I am about to make an effort at reestablishing myself in the literary world and feel that I may depend upon your aid. My general aim is to start a magazine to be called The Stylus, but it would be useless to me, even when established, if not entirely out of the control of a publisher. I mean, therefore, to get up a journal which shall be my own at all points. With this end in view, I must get a list of at least 500 subscribers to begin with. Nearly 200 I have already. I propose, however, to go south and west among my personal and literary friends, old college and West Point acquaintances, and see what I can do. In order to get the means of taking the first step, I propose to lecture at the Society Library on Thursday the 3rd of February, and that there may be no cause of squabbling, my subject shall not be literary at all. I've chosen a broad text, the universe. Having thus given you the facts of the case, I leave all the rest to the suggestions of your own tact and generosity. Gratefully, most gratefully, your friend always, Edgar A. Poe. Brief and chance taken as these letters are, we think they sufficiently prove the existence of the very qualities denied to Mr. Poe: humility, willingness to persevere, belief in another's friendship, and capability of cordial and grateful friendship. Such he assuredly was when sane. Such only he has invariably seemed to us, in all we have happened personally to know of him, through a friendship of 5 or 6 years. And so much easier it is to believe what we have seen and known than what we hear of only, that we remember him but with admiration and respect. These descriptions of him, when morally insane, seeming to us like portraits painted in sickness of a man we have only known in health. But there is another, more touching and far more forcible evidence that there was goodness in Edgar A. Poe. To reveal it, we are obliged to venture upon the lifting of the veil which scarcely or sacredly covers grief and refinement in poverty. But we think it may be excused. If so, we can brighten the memory of the poet, even were there not a more needed and immediate service which it may render to the nearest link broken by his death. Our first knowledge of Mr. Poe's removal to this city was by a call which we received from a lady who introduced herself to us as the mother of his wife. She was in search of employment for him, and she excused her errand by mentioning that he was ill, that her daughter was a confirmed invalid, and that their circumstances were such as compelled her taking it upon herself. The countenance of this lady, made beautiful and saintly, with an evidently complete giving up of her life to privation and sorrowful tenderness, her long forgotten but habitually and unconsciously refined manners, and her appealing and yet appreciative mention of the claims and abilities of her son, disclosed at once the presence of one of those angels upon earth that women in adversity can be. It was a hard fate that she was watching over. Mr. Poe wrote with fastidious difficulty, and in a style too much above the popular level to be well paid. He was always in pecuniary difficulty, and with his sick wife frequently in want of the merest necessaries of life. Winter after winter, for years, the most touching sight to us in this whole city has been that tireless minister to genius, thinly and insufficiently clad, going from office to office with a poem or an article on some literary subject to sell, sometimes simply pleading in a broken voice that he was ill and begging for him, mentioning nothing but that he was ill, whatever might be the reason for his writing nothing, and never, amid all her tears and recitals of distress, suffering one syllable to escape her lips that could convey a doubt of him, or a complaint, or a lessening of pride in his genius and good intentions. Her daughter died a year and a half since, but she did not desert him. She continued his ministering angel, living with him, caring for him, guarding him against exposure, and when he was carried away by temptation amid grief and the loneliness of feelings, unreplied to, and awoke from his self-abandonment prostrated in destitution and suffering, begging for him still. If woman's devotion, born with a first love and fed with human passion, hallow its object, as it is allowed to do, what does not a devotion like this, pure, disinterested, and holy as the watch of an invisible spirit, say for him who inspired it? We have a letter before us written by this lady, Mrs. Clem, on the morning in which she heard of the death of this object of her untiring care. It is merely a request that we would call upon her, but we will copy a few of its words, sacred as its privacy is, to warrant the truth of the picture we have drawn above, and add force to the appeal we wish to make for her. I have this morning heard of the death of my darling Eddie. Can you give me any circumstances or particulars? Oh, do not desert your poor friend in his bitter affliction. Ask Mr. to come, as I must deliver a message to him from my poor Eddie. I need not ask you to notice his death and to speak well of him. I know you will. But say what an affectionate son he was to me, his poor desolate mother. To hedge round a grave with respect. I'm going to sneeze. What choice is there between the relinquished wealth and honors of the world and the story of such a woman's unrewarded devotion? Risking what we do in delicacy by making it public, we feel other reasons aside that it betters the world to make known that there are such ministrations to its erring and gifted. What we have said will speak to some hearts. There are those who will be glad to know how the lamp, whose light of poetry has beamed on their faraway recognition, was watched over with care and pain, that they may send to her who is more darkened than they by its extinction some token of their sympathy. She is destitute and alone. If any, far or near, will send to us what may aid and cheer her through the remainder of her life, we will joyfully place it in her hands. And that's all for that. What are you saying? Thoughts on the art of war? I have no thoughts on Sun Tzu. What the hell is 48 laws of power? 48 laws of power. Book by Robert Greene. Is the definitive manual for anyone interested in gaining, observing, or defending against ultimate control. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh shit. I don't know if it's you or me, bruv. By Robert Greene. Yes. About Robert Brown. With an E. What do you think of it? What do you think of it, bruv? Shit. Eddie Poe. Eddie Poe. Raven Edition. Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. The audio book is excellent. Here's the thing. Probably never going to read any self-help because I'm amazing and I don't need help. The only help I need is from approximately 57 goth librarians to help me form and write a newspaper. It's the only help I really need. do you think of that, bruv? Yeah, I don't know if it's interesting. That's just the reality, bub, brubba, brubba, bubba. I'm not even drinking. I'm stuttering, slurring my words. Probably too many fucking red hot Cheetos. Tainted my brain. Whoa, J.K. Rowling. Thought she was canceled. Strange things is 20 something year olds reading Harry Potter. I mean, this is not a new fad. It's my sister in law. 20 years ago was reading fucking Harry Potter. I just didn't understand. I just said, what are you doing? I gave her a copy of Hugo's The Toilers of the Sea, and I bet you she probably fucking threw it in the trash. Call me radical, but water should be free at events. Kind of mental midget thinks you should just give away free shit as a business at all times. Free college, free water. Pretty sure they have water fountains at games. Maybe they don't. How much do you have to pay? They were showing the Chicago Cubs game, and it was like $8 for a bottle of Dasani. Which, I'll be honest, the fact that it costs $30 to park at a game is the reason why I'll never go to a game again. I'm not paying $20 just to park at a game. No. It's ignorant. It's honestly ignorant. Especially when you think I can buy 40 books at a thrift store for $20. And then plus the price of ticket. I could build basically I could fill a whole bookshelf with the amount of money it would cost to go to any sporting event or concert. $12 for a bottle. That's brilliant. $65 to park at Dodger Stadium. There's no way, dude. There's no fucking way it costs $65. Well, I guess if you're paying Otani, what, 50 million, 60 million, whoever knows how much he makes. I guess you got to charge money. $65. Ah, good. I don't blame him. Maturing is realizing that the cheating video at Coldplay isn't funny. Actually, it is funny. I mean, if you think his wife doesn't know he's cheating, or at least a piece of shit, the guesses are that she knows. Do you think this is an inappropriate answer? Listen. Seriously, what do? We protested, boycotted, campaigned, donated, written articles, pressured our government and institutions. We're on the streets, we're loud, we're persistent. Nothing is working. People are dying now. What do? I think it's wrong to tell her to become a casket maker. It's going to be my reply. I don't even know what she's talking about. I assume it's about Trump, but that's my answer. Become a casket maker. Who's dying? I don't even know what this lady's talking about. Oh, maybe she's talking about. No, she's for free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, mama boys. What's she talking about? I don't even know what she's talking about. Anyway, I told her to build caskets. It's the best I could think of. Khaldun is the selflessness and humanity personified. A man who has tirelessly cared for the orphans of Gaza. He is starving to death. Let aid in. We must break the siege and free Gaza, now and forever. She must be talking about Gaza. Ah, shit. Why is there so many Elon Musk impersonators on Twitter? It's weird. I mean, does anyone really believe these people are Elon Musk? Starship booster recovered from sea, like the ruins of a long dead civilization. do we got? What the hell is Ice Spice? I too thought darkness was my ally, but then I realized I wasn't Bane. I don't know who Bane is. I thought you were talking about the band Darkness. Isn't that the guy that used to sing like operatic voice? Ice Spice. Is Bane a rapper too, or just Ice Spice? Some guy saying she looks like Barack Obama. She kind of does. Maybe it's his kid. How old is Ice Spice? Ice Spice. She's got to be in her 20s, right? 25. Munch, feeling you. Thank you, the shit. Fat butt. Give me a light. Princess Diana. Alright, I don't watch cartoon adult cartoons, I guess there are now. I don't watch fucking Marvel or any of that bullshit. I don't understand it. I used to watch Spider-Man when I was like 10. I think it was The Simpsons that sent me over the edge. I hated The Simpsons so fucking bad. But I had a girlfriend who insisted we watch The Simpsons every motherfucking Sunday. And I just said, I don't understand it. I hate it. Did they off Princess Diana when she started dating the guy from the Middle East? Yeah, they definitely killed her. And I do believe it was one of those satanic ritual killings because she was killed in that one spot. The hell was it? Symbolism of Diana death. The death of Diana, Princess of Wales, was laden with symbolism, particularly in how it was perceived and reacted by the public. It represented a profound loss, not only of a beloved public figure, but also of a perceived symbol of compassion. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about Masonic symbols, you sons of bitches. Conspiracy theories about the death of Diana. Theories have alleged that the driver of the Mercedes, Andre Paul, was in the pay of a national security service. These allegations are covered in Chapter 4 of the Operation Paget. Henri Paul was working for MI6 and that they set him up. Cult of Diana. I believe it was a sacrifice to the moon goddess Diana, Armidas, or Lucifer. What was his name? Dodi Fayed? Let me explain. I would click it, but it's TikTok and I won't look at that site. Disgust me. Cults of Artemis. Thought it was written for Diana Ross after she flirted with some guy. Because her and Michael Jackson were bros. Oh, this lady will tell you what it's about. Let me reset it and then I'll...
Diana the Hunter.
Come on. Uh-oh, I lost. Oh, there we go. Let's see what this...
Death was a sacrifice. First, she was killed in the city of Paris, which was built by the Merovingians. The Merovingian religion was a mysterious brand of paganism. A cult of Diana. Not Princess Diana, but Diana the Huntress. She's the equivalent of the Greek goddess Armidas, also known as Lucifer. You know, the angel of light. Basically Satan with lipstick on. You know what they say, you can put lipstick on a pig, but... So back to Diana. She was sacrificed in the Pointe d'Alma tunnel. The Pointe d'Alma tunnel was very important to the Merovingians who founded Paris. It was a sacrificial site to the moon goddess Diana. Point means bridge and Alma means soul. So to the Merovingians, this spot, the Pointe d'Alma tunnel, was a site for crossing over to the heavens, like a gateway to the heavens, a bridge to the soul. The Merovingians used to do sacrifices to the moon goddess Diana in the Pointe d'Alma tunnel, where Diana died. So I think the assassination of Diana was a reenactment of the Merovingian sacrificial ritual in the Pointe d'Alma tunnel. Another weird thing is, at the memorial for Diana's death in the Pointe d'Alma tunnel, there's a torch. There's also a torch at her gravesite. The torch represents the torch of Prometheus, who to the occult signifies Lucifer. Satan with lipstick can also mean Venus, Armidas, and the moon goddess Diana. As Elton John says, the candle burnt out long before, but her torch lives on. I think Princess Diana's death was a sacrifice.
The only problem with this lady's explanation is it's David Icke's explanation, not hers. Dirty Diana. Why are there so many people with private accounts on Instagram who will like a video, but everything they have is all fucking locked up? It's just weird. Dirty Diana. Diana Ross. We'll see who it's about. I just heard it was about Diana Ross. Oh. It is not about Diana Ross, despite the similar name. The song is about aggressive groupies, a theme that Jackson explored in other songs as well, like Billie Jean and Smooth Criminal. While Michael Jackson did admire Diana Ross, and she even used the song as an intro to her concerts, the song itself is not about her. Oh man. Oh shit. Dirty Diana was just about a dirty bitch named Diana. Hey, I'm going to the Dodgers game tomorrow. I'm taking $12,000. That's a fucking joke. What do you think of the the WNBA wearing those shirts? Pay us what you owe us. Pay us what you owe us, bruv. Dirty Diana. Yeah. Did they ever get divorced? I thought they were going to. Forgot all about them. Thanks for reminding me that they exist. I forgot they even existed. Harry wants to go back. Harry wants to go back to England, bruv. What's left of it. Full cat mothers. know what YouTuber I really hate is Rick Beato. Beato. I just hate that guy. Don't like him, bruv. Deep fry and yeah. Big news. Your favorite pizza can now come to you. Sam's Club Pizza? Point of view, I cooked a dinner for my first Tinder date and she brought her friend along. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Wow. Prospero's Books and Media in Kansas City was founded in 1997 and has 3 floors of 50,000 titles of books. Dude, I almost have fucking 9,000 books myself. John King Books has 1,000,000. Get out of there. Get out of here with this bullshit. No, they're saying Sam's Club. Did they have pizza like Costco? Why do I keep hearing about Costco pizza? Is it supposed to be great? I mean, it's pretty hard to make a bad pizza, but Little Caesars has mastered it. But yeah, it's pretty hard to make a bad pepperoni pizza. It's almost impossible. You could literally throw that shit, literally throw it onto the pan. It could turn out good. Costco pizza. Costco sells both whole pizzas and individual slices at their food court, with cheese and pepperoni being the only 2 options. A whole 18-inch pizza costs $10. That's a pretty good deal. While a slice is $2. The pizza is known for its large size and value. Do you have to have a membership to go buy a piece of pizza? have to have a membership to order their pizza. That's a butter churn. What if you get a fucking DoorDash from Costco? Can you DoorDash Costco pizza? No, you cannot directly order Costco pizza through DoorDash or similar delivery apps. That's insane. They act like $1.50 is such a great deal. I mean, how much? I haven't bought hot dogs in years, but what's it, like $5 for a pack of hot dogs? And buns are about $2. So I mean, $1.50 is decent, but it's not like the cheapest thing. The fact that it costs like $8 at a game to get a hot dog is what's absurd. You can buy liquor there without having a membership? What? So you just walk in and buy some booze? Non-members can buy liquor at Costco in 14 states. Does that include beer? Hey, I can do it. I'm in Michigan. Son of a bitch. Loopholes within a loophole. Oh, it's probably because you can't charge membership. Hey, I'm here to buy liquor. That's cray cray. Can't believe it. They're probably losing on the condiments. I don't know how you can. A pack of hot dogs. It can't be more than $5. I mean, not only that. What kind of hot dogs are they using? Kirkland's Best? $1.50 back then was a lot, if you ask me. What brand of hot dogs does Costco use? Thing is, they're not losing any money because I think a 12 pack of their dogs probably breaking even. I know he says they lose money, but people probably buy a drink and stuff too, so that more than makes up for the hot dog. $12 pack of Costco hot dogs is $15.99. And if you put that at cost, we pay. What? You get a drink and a hot dog? That is a pretty good deal, then. I know you got a drink with it. Drink, but pops, basically. Fucking pennies. That's where the concessions make their money, is off pop. And beer. Well, they're charging like $17 for a glass of beer at a concert or whatever. So I mean, you can't lose. It's unbelievable. I paid seven. Someone told me they paid $17. I said, "Why don't you just get fucking ripped before you went to the game?" There's no fucking way I'd pay $17 for a beer anywhere. Especially, well, I mean, I would at like a, if I was getting a craft beer specialty, and not at a game getting Miller Lite for $17. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand get a game to begin with. I don't think I've ever had a beer at a game. It's never made sense to me to get fucking blasted, but some people like it. Kelsey Plum does not care if you don't like her. Weird looking chick. Yeah, he does. He's got that Habsburg jaw almost. You make $25 an hour, work overtime, have a side hustle, and still can't afford chips for your kids' lunch. That's not a budget. That's a broken economy. And no, telling people to stop eating out isn't the answer. No, where the fuck you live? But if you can't make it on $25 an hour, you're fucking pathetic. If you don't make over $160,000 a year, you will starve to death in America. Are these people really serious? Chooch! Even the train fucking laughed. The train's laughing its ass off. The train is calling total bullshit on that. What are these people talking about? What is this person even talking about? Oh, it's a guy. He has no clue what he's talking about. Pizza chains are collapsing, not because people hate pizza, but because the class can't afford it anymore. The $18 pie is now a symbol of a broken system where even junk food is priced like steak. No, there's no reason a pizza should cost $18. It's fucking dough and cheese and sauce. Yeah, listen to me type. Well, this whole thing where if you don't make, yeah, if you have like a family of 5 or something where you're fucking making $25 an hour, but yeah, you still could make it. You just have to not be a dumb fuck. Can't go to Starbucks every day. I mean, I can, for the amount of money people spend at Starbucks, I can buy coffee for 2 years. It's dumb. I bought a supply of coffee last week, I think for 50 some dollars. It'll last me a year. I mean, it's insane to spend $5 per cup. It's crazy. I mean, I can understand certain things, like if you go out instead of making like buying a 5 pounds of burger to make a hamburger is kind of dumb. Unless you're gonna make it every day, which is kind of stupid when you just go out and buy a hamburger. But if you gotta pay $5 for a coffee when a can of coffee literally costs $10, it's just dumb. And I'm sure $5 is the lower end. You can buy any of those ingredients and take them home. It's not hard to make coffee and iced coffee. It's pretty fucking easy. It's almost too easy. Literally stick stuff into a thing and then push a button. Water, coffee, filter, button pushed. It cooks it. Put it in the fridge to get cold. Pour creamer in it. Pour all your other shit in it. It tastes the same. It's absolutely stupid. Stop. How the hell are there watching? When I'm reading, there's usually one person, one or two people. But when we're just sitting there not fucking doing anything, there's 5 people watching. Bizarro. Andre Agassi talks hating tennis and being the rebel. I hate tennis. Cool. What his Agassi career earnings were. Probably 100 million. What? He only earned 31 million, but he had to have earned a bunch of sponsorship endorsements. $200 million in endorsement deals. That's fucking brilliant. 28 million for American Express, Kia Motors. He's still doing commercials? Guess I would know that if I had a television, but can't believe it. Yeah, I made 300 million. Yeah, I hated tennis. He continued to play due to family pressure and talent. No, he didn't want to go get a real job. And instead he made 238 million. Says he hates it and he always did. Dude, I don't give a shit how much you hate it. If you can make 238 million playing a game for about 2 or 3 hours a day. I mean, they probably just hate that the fact you have to. I mean, tennis does have a lot of rules, like of conduct rules. Can't be a savage in tennis; they'll kick your ass out. I'm sure they hate the fans too, who won't leave them alone. Then you got to talk to the fucking media. Yeah, I would snap after about 2 months in any professional sport. Yeah, you're right. Serena does not love tennis. Yeah, because you have to deal with people. Just like every baseball game is now, there's some fucking weirdos online. Every baseball, hockey game, every play is just fucking written about by morons online. It's just ridiculous. Dirty Diana. Boom. Look at that. Now you get the shadow version. Camera don't like that at all. It's fighting that. Oh.